Hello people, here we go with a supplementary video. What I wanted to do here was to just put out some reminders for how to use the stat mode on your calculator, as well as I suppose a couple of other little bits and pieces. Right, particularly for mean, standard deviation, and also a 5-number summary, because we can do those on these calculators. So I've just written a couple of questions here. Mean and standard deviation for a data set like this, and data set like this, right? So this is with few repeated frequencies. A few repeated scores, right? Usually a frequency of 1, so we're just going to put that in one number at a time. I've also got a table or tabulated data here with scores and frequencies, right? I wouldn't want to have to type all of those individual scores in, so we want to have that frequency column, right? And also just asking to a 5-number summary for that second one as well. So first of all, calculator on. From here, it's a good idea to get in the habit of resetting each time, I think. So you'll see all of the white things on the buttons, right? The white writing in the buttons, the ones, twos, the answer button here, the equals, whatever else, sine, cos, and tan, right? I access the white stuff just by pressing the button. That makes sense. If there's yellow writing above the button, right, we can see all sorts of things here. And to be honest, some of them I'm not real sure what they are. But to access those yellow things, I use the second function button here. This yellow second function will get me to any of those yellow functions, right? And as much as anything else, you can see the off button there. I'm sure you've used that before. I have no idea why a digital emulator has an off button, but anyway, on. Just while we're looking at that, to access the blue functions, and we rarely do, but to access the blue functions written above the buttons, we press this alpha button there, right? It's like a second function. It's like a third function button. Okay. Mostly we're going to use this second function one to access something a little bit different. Right? We use this a bit, as I said, to turn it off. To access pi, we use that a little bit. But particularly, I want to use that first of all. CLR is for clear. We want to clear things. So second function, then the 9. Access is clear there. I can just clear changes to the setup that I've made. I can just clear changes to the memory. But again, I would get in the habit of resetting it all the way back to factory settings each time, and we'll reset it up. Maybe it's not the fastest, but it's sort of most reliable to make sure you haven't got something strange going on. So 3 is the menu option there. Read what's on screen if you forget it, and it should step you through it pretty much. Equals and AC. Okay, so we're sort of basic factory settings there. Now we need to put it into stat mode. Right, here's a button that says mode. That's where we need to go to. We need option 2 for stats. Now we do get lots of options here. It is always the first one that we're interested in. Right, always this one variable or univariate data. So option 1 there. This brings up on the screen a table with, well, a column for the tag for the position number, as well as for the score there, X. Right, I put that in. I put the number in, or the score, 5, and I sort of lock it in by pressing equals. 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now you can see, whoops, actually, I have missed something there. Right, I can review what I've done so far. I should have had an extra 10, and look, I could just put a 10 at the bottom, but I can overwrite a score there. I'm going to change that. So now that I have, you can see there, now it goes 6, 8, 10, 10. Yep. That's good that we can go back and review that. 12, 15, 19, 33. So there should be, that's telling me my 9th score was 33. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, there are 9 there. I scroll up, nothing looks terribly out of place. Right, I haven't accidentally put in 112 or something. Those things, not terribly difficult to accidentally hit the button twice. Right, or forget to press equals and you sort of put 2 numbers in the same spot. Okay, so all of that data now looks as it should. Right, there's my list of scores. I can't access stats from that while it's on the screen. I've got to press that AC button, all clear. Because we're in stat mode, it says stat up here, and also this 0 down here is an indication that we're in stat mode. Right. There are scores saved into the memory of the calculator. Now to access the stats, it says stat down here. So we go second function 1. Now if I were to go to 2, that lets me go back to the table and change the data again. Okay, we pressed AC, it was off the screen. If I go back there, I could, well, let's just have a look. I could go back there, there's my table again. Right, if I wanted to do something to it. But I don't. AC again. Second function 1 here. Now, for 1 and 3, we're not going to change that. Right, there are not settings there that are relevant to what we're learning. Option 4 here, VAR. Not sure what that's short for. N tells us how many scores there are. That should produce the number 9, because we've got 9 scores in there. This here, the X with a bar above it, is the mean, the arithmetic mean, or the average, if you like. That's one of the things we need to use. These here both refer to a type of standard deviation we are always going to use for the sake of our course. Option 3 here. Right, so 2 and 3 are the things we want. So 2, my mean, and just looking at them, I think the mean should be something like 14. 13.1 recurring. So my mean, oops. Oh, no, I don't think I can write there, can I? No, never mind. My mean is 13.1 recurring. And now my standard deviation, so I need to write that down, but I'm not in a position to do that right now. Second function back here to my stats. 4, that VAR. 3 is my standard deviation, equals 8.14. Okay, so my mean, 13.1 recurring. My standard deviation, 8.14. Right, that's using mean and standard deviation. Well, that's calculating mean and standard deviation for a data set like that. Now, we want to do it for this tabulated data where I've got more scores. Again, go back to the habit of resetting things. So, second function 9, 3 equals AC. Now we're back into regular mode. I need to put it back into stat mode. 2 and 1. Now I need that second column here. There's my scores. I need a frequency column. I've got to go to the setup to do that. So to get to setup, see setup here in yellow, second function mode. Right. These options here, it's none of those things. That little triangle indicates though there's more to this. Right, there's more to this menu. I can arrow down here. And there's a couple more things. 3, the stats. 1 to turn the frequency column on. Righto? So X and frequency, score and frequency is what I want. If you set this up so it says X and Y, that's good for something, but not for this. Right? That is a different story. That's not the right settings. X and frequency is what it should say at the top there. Right, now I can put these in. You'll find the fastest way is to do one column then the next. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 equals, then just arrow down, we'll sort of loop back to the top and across, and then 2, 8, 33, 100, oops. Oh, right, you can see there I've made a mistake, haven't I? That's not 33. Right, is that better? 2, 8, 33. Right. 100, 38, 6, and 1. Okay, so I should be able to, right, if I'm a bit concerned, use my arrow keys here to come back and have a look and see that all of that data looks right. And that is one of the advantages of this calculator. Now I've got all of those scores in there. AC, right, it's been saved. Now I need to get to my stats. Second function 1, 4 for VAR, 2 for my mean. Now I do like to guess what it's going to be beforehand. Well, it's kind of fun. To sort of a bit of a double check. Now I can see here that my data here looks, kind of fairly normally distributed. All of my scores are most of my scores by far and away are close to the middle. So I think somewhere around 40 sounds pretty reasonable for my mean. 2 equals 39.9 if you like, pretty close to 40. Great, there's my mean. I should write that down. my standard deviation, I expect my standard deviation to be less than 10, I think. Okay, it's a bit harder to estimate that, but I think my standard deviation is going to be more like 5. Yeah, more like 5. So second function 1, 4, 3 equals. I was wrong. Standard deviation is 9.05. Okay. Mean standard deviation. I'm not so concerned by that. That's just a bad guess by me. Righto. There's my mean and standard deviation for data for this tabulated data. Okay, with the frequency column. If you've missed some of that, you can rewind this and watch it again. Okay. Now that's good. I have asked here for part 2, create a 5-number summary. 5-number summary for this data. On our old calculators, we weren't able to do this. What you would normally do is already put a cumulative frequency column on here, right, and break that up and work out where your median is and where the quartiles are and so on. I know my minimum is 10, my maximum is 70, my median is very likely to be 40. I'm not 100% sure where my other quartiles are going to be, right, because altogether I've got, must have close to 200 scores. Anyway, so second function 1, now we can use option 5 here, and this gives us minimum, maximum, median, Q1 and Q3. Okay, minimum, maximum, we know it's going to be 10 and 70. Right, we just confirmed 1 equals, right, 10. But my median of that data, I'm very, very confident it's going to be 40. So 5, 4 equals, right, no surprises there. Because of the symmetry of that data, and there are so many 40s, it's very unlikely to be anywhere else. Second function 1, 5. Now my first quartile, Q1, still falls in that range, and I'll bet that the other one does too. Oh, not 4. Second function 1, 5, 5 equals, right. My quartiles, because the data is grouped so closely together in the middle, and I have sort of such coarse granulation, my scores are separated by 10s, right? If they were down to 1s, maybe that would be better. Maybe I would get my quartiles in a different spot. But nonetheless, we can get our 5-number summary out of stat mode on this calculator as well. Okay, I hope that helps out when you're doing these things. So say pause, rewind, go back. Just don't forget to reset again. Right, and we're all good back in our regular modes. If you try to do, just a bit of pointer, if you forget to take it out of stat mode, if you leave it in stat mode, in fact, let's just put it back there now. Right, I'm in stat mode. If I try to do my fractions, if I do something like 2 over 3, 2/3 plus a quarter. Right, notice I don't get, my fractions are represented in a strange sort of way now. And equals, look, it still works. That is 11/12. 2/3 is, is 8/12 plus 3/12 is 11/12. Right, that still works. It just displays it differently when you're in stat mode. I'm not quite sure why. That's a bit of a clue. You can still use it while it's in stat mode. There are a few things that won't work, but certainly it displays differently. And it's a bit clunkier. Okay, good luck. See you later.